Guys, just got in from Joe and John's place just a little bit ago. I want to put this out there. In no way, shape, or form am I a fingerprint expert. As a common Bigfoot field researcher and investigator, it's our job to go out there, interview the witnesses, and collect fingerprints the best we can, and to send that in to the experts. When I first got on location, I seen them, I'm thinking to myself, what part of the body was this? Was it a forehead or what? Dermal ridges were evident, and they were, if they were of a fingerprint, the dermal ridges were bigger than a human fingerprint. Okay. Was it a forehead? I don't think it was a forehead. Was it an elbow? Because I say that because if you look at the dermal ridges there on my elbow, they are very horizontal, if the camera zoomed in on that, and probably right around the 2-inch mark as well. But I don't know. I just tried putting my elbow on the mirror in the bathroom, and my elbow is not leaving a good imprint on the mirror in the bathroom. And it's my daughter's bathroom, so I'm not even going to bring the camera in there right now because, at any rate. So, no, I'm not an expert. I'm going out there. This is what we got to do. This is what it comes down to. This is a part of field research and investigations. I'm not an expert. I'll go out there and we'll lift the prints. We'll do our best, and we'll put it in the hands of the right people. I did send an email to Mr. Chilcutt, and I'm waiting to hear back from him. Please enjoy this next video. And just before we get started, gentlemen, do I have your permission to use your audio, your likeness, your image for the purposes of the Minnesota Bigfoot research team and educating and putting it on social media?
Yes, you do.
And what is your name? We'll just use your first name.
John.
John?
Yep.
And I am here with Joe. You guys remember Joe? Joe, initially first contacted me last September about the Bigfoot activity that he's been having on his property. He called me last night about 10:56 p.m. and said that his wife notices some possible prints on the sliding door just to the left of us. But before we get right into that, how has late fall, early winter been?
Pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Really quiet, actually.
Okay.
Up until about
As of October.
2 or 3 weeks when I thought it was all done, I went out. I've been still going out on my deck when it was cold, no snow, and I got 2 really good tree cracks one night, good tree knocks, and then about 4 or 5 days later, I had one roar growl at me. It scared the snot out of me. I literally brought my flashlight up, brought up my hand cannon immediately, and I've never cocked my gun on the deck. That night I cocked that gun, and I literally thought I was going to have to shoot him because he was that close. It was really scary, really scary. Never seen him.
So, until, and by the way, today's date is February 23rd, 2020. John is joining us. He used to live next door. And along with Joe, John has also had some amazing things happen.
Yeah.
And
Of the things.
John, how long have you lived next to Joe?
About 3.5 years now.
Okay. And in that time frame, like you've had ongoing stuff as well. When would you say it all started for you?
About a year ago, I started hearing some chit-chat through the neighborhood of some just miscellaneous sightings, and I just kind of thought everybody was a little bit crazy around here, and until it happened to me. It started happening just little by little and came on kind of strong, and the more I looked for it, the more I found.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
Don't look unless you want to find it.
Exactly.
Then you got to know
Yeah. So then, what you just kind of intrigued me there. You said you've heard of some miscellaneous sightings throughout the neighborhood and stuff like that.
Yes.
And would that be besides what Joel or?
Oh yes, yeah. There was a passerby that used to walk his German Shepherd, a 110-pound Shepherd, and he saw me out with my Shepherd, and they asked if they could pet it, and yeah, no problem. And I said, "Where's your Shepherd at?" And they just said, "It's kind of a long story." And I'm like, "Well, cancer, or what happened?" And they're like, "Well, we don't really like to talk about it." And I said, "Well, what happened?" And his wife started crying, and he said, "We can't really explain what happened. We let him out. 5 minutes later, he normally comes back in the house, and they called for him. Couldn't find him, and they went out in the backyard, and the German Shepherd was torn to shreds. There wasn't, there's chunks of the Shepherd everywhere. They refused to call the police because they didn't think the police would even know what happened. They didn't hear a single noise." And the Shepherd would take care of himself.
Usually, yeah.
But that Shepherd was torn to shreds.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. Let me ask you this: did they give you any time of year? I want just throwing this out there, but was this around the colder season?
It was right at the end of winter
Going
into spring. Yep.
Okay, that makes a little sense. There's some type of correlation with them. It seems like right around when it starts to get cold and right after the thaw when it starts getting warmer and stuff
Correct.
like that. Okay. You've had quite some experiences, and first off, thank you for coming on here.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
appreciate that. I know our viewers and our supporters and our followers also thank you as well. Just so you are assured that this location is not going to be shared with anybody. And people have tried to ask, but we just totally denied
Right.
them.
That's the main reason why I didn't want to come and kind of explain all of the happenings. I have hours and hours of
Stuff.
live video
Crazy stuff.
of actual sighting
Yeah.
and
My new best friend.
chasing me and noises all times of the night.
Yeah.
Boulders thrown at the house, rocks, parts of my deck thrown apart or ripped apart. The shed doors ripped off of my shed.
Oh, dang.
Within 20 feet of me, I hear some crashing and banging going on, and the doors are literally ripped right off of my shed.
Jeez. And nothing's there when you go and check it out. It's just
Yeah, I hear things crashing and
crashing.
oh yeah, you hear stuff
Going off in
running
the
through.
distance.
Yep.
Yeah. They are quick.
It's amazing.
They're so fast.
And silent when they want to be.
Oh man.
Like
Because
ninjas.
they were right in front of you, and now all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah.
Looking for them with spotlights and my guns or whatever.
Tell them about the trail cameras.
Well, I've got a lot of different sightings, not of the actual
Creature.
correct, but
Guys.
things in the distance, the eyeballs, a lot of eyes.
Eye shine.
Oh yeah, lots. Lots of animals being spooked, like 10, 15 deer at a time in a corral.
Okay.
Really
the
spooked.
Huddled up together.
Oh,
huh?
In
yes.
the yard.
And
Why are they doing that?
They're spooked.
well,
Yeah.
there's basically two different options here. We know that there was some sort of a creature on one side, and then we heard something else on the other, and the deer were all huddled,
Huddled
and they
herded
were
together.
all spooked.
Oh, yeah.
And we've never seen that here ever.
No,
I've never seen
When did
that.
that, how many years ago was that?
that was the beginning of last year,
Okay.
so it'd be 2019.
Last year was a pretty active year then, wasn't it?
Very active, very.
Okay. You said you had stuff, pebbles, rocks, and boulders even.
Yeah.
How big would you say that the boulders were?
Well, Joe and I took quite a number of them off of my garage roof, off of my house roof, out of the back of my truck. There's a number of them, grapefruit size.
Okay.
You would hear them crash
Like a shot
on. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'd hear them just crash onto the roof of the home, and you'd be like, "What the heck?" And go out, run around, and Joe would be outside, and he'd be like, "I heard it," and he couldn't have thrown it at me.
Oh, no.
I have a dog. I have guns.
Yeah.
My dog alerted to it, and like zeroed in on something, but I'm not gonna send her after it.
No,
After the stories I
Keep
heard.
coming
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
But she alerts to it, and she knows, and you can smell
Yeah.
the
Let's talk about that right quick.
okay.
Because I can tell you're reliving the smell right now as we speak.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. How would you describe it?
It's just a stench of like raw sewage and wet dog. Just a dirty, nasty animal. I mean, it's stinkier than a bear. You know, bears have that kind of real distinct smell.
Audrey smelled it down in the basement.
Oh
one
boy.
night. I don't know if I ever
That's
told you that
close.
on the first video.
That's like right
Came
outside
right,
the wall.
yeah.
There.
She said it came right up to the window because all of a sudden the basement bedroom filled up with just this nasty, wet, muddy, skunky. She said, I never smelled nothing like it in my life. And she said she opened up the curtain because the window was open and the curtain was open just a little bit. And she said, I pulled the curtain back and looked and she didn't see anything. And then within like a minute or two, the smell went away.
Huh.
So he was standing right under my deck at her window. I believe that.
Man. And why I believe that too. I mean, with your guys, any other neighbors that you're aware of?
There's two other ones that have seen something, and they also can't describe what they saw. They call it Bigfoot, of course, Sasquatch, whatever. You know, what I really want to say right now is, you know, to everybody, you know, I'm not on here to like, you know, get some sort of a name or anything like that. I'm actually not really wanting to do this because it's kind of like somebody saying, hey, I saw a UFO last night. You know, who's going to believe that?
Right.
I didn't believe Joe. I didn't believe my other neighbors. I thought everybody was just kind of losing their mind.
We're crazy.
And after being chased down by this thing and literally seeing it, I had to come to Joe the following morning and I just said, I got to talk to you, you know, and I told him what was going on and he's like, what? I'm like, I'm not kidding. Here's what happened. I showed him the video. It's, you know, 18 minutes long of not stop, no editing, no nothing. It shows the thing. It shows him get up. It shows him run. It shows me go after him.
That's when he went over to that other tree I was telling you about.
And we went out to the tree line, and that's when it started chasing back at me. And I made a sprint for about a solid 150 yards. Never been so scared in my entire life.
Okay.
And I had.
You were armed.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Camera,
matter.
flashlight, gun.
Yeah.
And I was out. Sorry, everybody, but I was out in my underwear and my sneakers.
Yeah.
Boy.
I mean, it was 3:45 in the morning,
Yeah.
and I heard a noise.
Right. And you were investigating.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So I'm not just. I don't even. You can't really explain it. You
No,
just can't.
you can't make it up.
From what you've seen, how would you describe it?
I've done a lot of different measurements of where I've seen this. He's been next to my shed, next to my garage, next to my house, next to Joe's sheds. I've watched him, you know, at different angles. I can see exactly where he is. It's on video. And I can tell where his head is, where he's crouched, you know. And I'm going to say it's between 8'1" and 8'8", somewhere in that area. I mean, just the most broad shoulders I have ever seen. It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
They are.
He's 800 pounds.
I mean, I'm not going to
If
give it
not more, yeah.
a weight.
Not more.
I know how big it is and how broad it is, and it's like I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also have, you know, imprints, and those are his prints. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Okay.
You know, it's exactly what I saw.
So from what you saw, you're giving us a good height description of 8'1" to 8'8". Shoulders, every bit of what?
I mean, he's like you two
Us
put
two put
together.
together?
Seriously, I mean,
Right
it's the
about-
biggest linebacker you've ever seen
about 4
on
foot.
steroids.
Yeah.
That's huge.
About 40 inches.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Huge. I
3.5,
mean,
4 feet at the shoulders.
I don't run around telling anybody about this.
No.
I have a handful of friends and my parents, And, it's like you kind of got to ease them into the situation and just say, you guys, I'm going to tell you something. And I start telling them the story, and it's like, go ahead, believe me or not. I'm not out here just trying to tell you the story to tell you some line of BS. I'm just, it happened.
Right. Yeah. I hear
insane.
That. I hear that. Oh, wow. So, how many times would you say you've seen it?
Probably 40.
Oh, wow.
I got to the point where I have literally yelled out my window after it's thrown stuff at the back of my house and yelled at him and just said, leave me alone for the night. I'm trying to sleep, you know?
Yeah.
But that's how used to it you got. At first it's like you're terrified and you're, ready to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
After a while it's like, get out of here.
Son of a gun here.
I've shot at him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not with the big guns, but smaller guns.
Yeah, 9.22.
Just go away. Go home. Go to bed.
You shot that one night with a pellet gun, didn't
Yeah,
you?
shot him
With a
twice.
pellet pistol?
Shot him twice.
Yeah.
And
With that-
didn't even move.
No, any
it's
sound
still-
or anything.
No, absolutely not.
And you
I'm
know
just-
that you hit him.
Oh, guaranteed,
Oh,
100%.
That was just to get him
Guaranteed.
out of here.
Yeah.
I just wanted him to go
Yeah.
for the night.
I remember that.
That was the night he ripped the shed doors off.
Yeah, well, you shot him.
But that was before
Was that
I
before?
shot him.
Oh, okay,
That was
okay.
I'm not kidding. It's
Man.
but where do you... I don't even know what to say.
Oh.
If you saw it once, you kind of write it off,
Okay, so that's the male. How many do you think there are?
I think there's actually... I think there's 3 different ones that
Okay.
I'm aware of.
Okay.
I know there's a small one.
Okay.
I know there's a mom.
Okay.
I've heard these guys sit back and forth speaking or making their noises to
Yep.
each other.
Mhm.
I've listened to that for half an hour at a time.
Man.
Like back and forth, just I'm
Gibberish.
30, 40 feet away listening the whole time.
Yeah, like a gibberish.
That's a
mumble.
gibberish.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of a squeak for the little one, and Mama's just kind of like, and then the little guy would be like, And then,
Well,
sorry everybody, but
No,
it's just the way it
don't be sorry, it's the way it
happened.
is.
yeah, well, my son Dan came in one night and he told me the same thing. Mom's talking to the baby out there. She's out there with the baby, and I know it's mom and the baby because it's. And it, it's like that.
That's exactly how it sounds.
Yeah, crazy.
I've called Joe.
Mom and the baby.
I spotlight all the time. Every time I'd come home, I'd be like, oh, yeah, there it is. There he is again. And I'd run and grab my camera and start videoing his eyes and
Yeah.
just shooting him, and not shooting, but
Video with the
videoing.
camera, yeah.
And, it's talking to it, whatever. It's a long ways out sometimes. Sometimes it's closer.
When you are talking with it,
It just
Do you get a
sits there.
response?
It sits there.
Yeah.
It moves around. It slowly moves around. It keeps me in eye contact. I've been within, I suppose, 6 feet of it in my kitchen.
I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you went there.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What were you doing?
Making some dinner late at night. And I went to the refrigerator, grabbed it, whatever, opened it up, and I turned and looked, and it was sitting right at my picture window. From, I suppose, Joe and I away from each other about maybe 6 feet, 7 feet. And I just stared at it, and I said, get the heck out of here. And I said,
Yeah.
I just made a little,
With your hand
Yes.
and everything? Yeah.
and it just stared at me, and it slowly ducked down, and it was gone. It was out of the picture.
How high is your picture window from the ground?
Oh, that. I
That's
suppose
around
your
about-
chin, or no, I suppose your eyes are at the bottom of it. It's a split level,
Okay.
so your eyes are at almost the bottom. Mine,
Okay.
this thing was up in the picture window.
2 more feet.
Easily,
And that's the property right over there.
Yeah.
right next door.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it just it stared right at me, and it did. It was. It's kind of unexplainable again because it's not a monkey, it's not an ape, it's kind of a cross. It's like Planet of the Apes, you know. It's just like, you can't really explain it. it's a cross between a few different things.
How would you describe? So when you
the eye spread on it?
yeah,
I mean, it's got to be a solid 10 inches.
10 inches from
Eye
apart.
spread. Eye spread.
Yeah, from apart. From
What are ours?
Ours are about 4, 5.
Five maybe.
This thing is, it's
Yeah.
a solid 10 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Just
Wow.
from eyeball to eyeball.
That's
And it's just
Socket
staring.
to socket. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, how would you say, like this part is? How
Oh, it bows over. You know, it's like a really
Very-
pronounced.
eyebrow.
Yes.
Brow.
Yep,
Very
the
good.
whole top.
A very good brow ridge.
Brow ridge.
Very thick.
Very dark brown eyes.
Okay.
Like really, really dark. There's like, you can't even see really a pupil.
Okay. Like would you dark chocolate?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
But it just stared directly at me, and I mean direct contact with me. I'm looking at it and I'm like, unbelievable. I said, boom, and it just went drop down and it was gone.
How would you describe the nose?
Wide. I don't know how you would really.
Gorilla-ish.
Yeah, like really wide, flat, like not a peak.
No, not so much of a point, just kind of
Correct. Yep.
broad.
Split
Would you
Wide
call
nostrils,
bulbous?
wide apart.
Really wide nostrils. Oh man. The head, the top of the head.
Hair, like not a hairline. There was like kind of hair all over the place up here.
Okay. How
Excuse my voice.
would you say how would you describe the hair? Was it neat? Did it look like it was manicured?
No,
just
just wild.
Yeah. The shape of the head itself and overall.
Oh,
Would you say
this is really hard to.
roundish? Was it
No, because
pointy?
it's kind of had a dropped chin, like a dropped
Did the chin
face.
go lower than the shoulders? Our chin's above the shoulders here.
No, it's lower than the shoulders.
Yeah, so
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's down in there,
Okay.
and the bottom of the chin
Mm-hmm.
is just like, I mean, it's it's a solid probably 8-9 inches, like just wide down here,
Wow.
and you know just the lip area, not the lips, but it's almost like a solid, you know, they're not really pronounced lips. It's just a gap, you know, and.
Would you say the lips
Wide.
were really kind of thin?
Yes, yeah,
Or
real
were
thin.
they-
No, they weren't sticking out like
Right,
that.
okay.
Thin.
Show the camera.
Kind of
Wide.
wide and just closed. I mean, there was no. I didn't see teeth or anything like that. It was.
Big.
It just was standing there looking at me.
I
You know,
remember
it was
telling-
just
I
having
remember-
that little one-on-one bonding thing again.
When you were making dinner, did you have a light on in the house?
I had my kitchen light on.
So you were able to see from it being like right smack dab on the other side of the window, the skin coloration.
Oh yeah.
How would you describe the color of the skin?
Well, the hair's a little bit lighter than the skin. The skin color would be, I mean, darker than chocolate.
Okay.
Um,
Coal?
no, it's darker than like the countertop over there. So I mean, it's like a dark brown,
Okay.
and the hair all over. It's like just kind of it almost has like a gold, but it's dark brown as well. But it has that kind of light.
Cinnamon?
Yeah, but if you every time I shine it with the light, you see like,
Black.
yeah, it's 100% dark.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see it's
Yeah.
anatomy you don't see any of this. You
Right.
just huge hands. I mean, wide hips.
Yeah. Now you've seen the Patterson Gimlin film. Are you pretty aware with that one? The one taken back in 1967.
I have, yes, I did.
She's got wide hips.
Yeah.
Well, that's very. Would you say the one that you've seen is very comparable to that one?
Probably not. I think a little bit wider.
Okay. Well, it being a male,
Yeah.
and if it's around 8'1" to 8'8", it would be taller than that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
She was about 7 foot, wasn't she?
7'3", 7'7".
Yeah, she's a foot over her, probably.
Yeah, and you can tell the difference between the two grown adults, and it was really rare that both of them were there at the same time. I did hear Mom and you know, something smaller. But Dad and Mom, I've basically seen them either once or twice together that I'm aware of, when they were corralling all the deer, and another night where they kind of had me corralled when I was out on the back of my property.
So we've been talking about Dad, obviously.
Yeah.
What's Mom look like?
Just a little bit smaller. Just
Same?
basically
Yeah.
call Dad at 100%. Mom would be at 75 to 80%. Just everything's just a little bit smaller.
And you have,
I think she moves faster.
yeah.
Honestly, I don't think she's got as much power by any means.
Right.
Because every time that we had a ruckus out there, or the shed doors, or the large trees thrown around, that was Dad, 100%.
Okay.
He's got an attitude.
Oh, he's
He's got a real attitude. He scared the crap out of me about 3-4 times, man. Big time.
it's
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's
That's
just
crazy.
wow.
Trees and trees probably about 6 inches in diameter.
5.
Would you say 5, 6
6 inches. I mean, I would have never moved it myself, and we're talking 40 feet long, full trees that have dropped during storms in my tree line, like buried in the tree line now. And I mean, I would have had to use my pickup to pull them out of there.
Right.
This thing picked the tree up, whatever, and threw it into my yard.
Yeah.
And it was 30 feet into my yard.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
So, and
I
Joe
seen
did
it.
see that.
Yeah, I seen that.
Hey,
What?
that's some muscle.
What?
That's some muscle right there.
Lots of patio, you know, paver bricks thrown around.
Oh man. Those are
It's
thick
big.
Yeah, then he
too.
went to the back of your shed and he tore that lock off. Remember if you were telling
All
me
the
that?
hardware was torn
Just
off.
tearing off hardware, locks and stuff, rip them off.
Yep. All the
Just like he's playing, you
the
know.
big lag bolts just snapped right off.
These creatures are phenomenal.
They are, they're unbelievable.
Well, but that's the other thing. You know, I don't think this thing was ever out to kill me or hurt me. It basically was
Setting
Kinda-
boundaries.
no. I think it was just kind of living in my neighborhood,
Yeah.
and we kind of had to try to get along.
Right. No, I laugh because in all reality, this has been their neighborhood. And
Exactly,
Yeah.
but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I went a year and a half plus without seeing or hearing anything, and I always walk all over in the back of my property along with Joe's. Never a worry in the world. I haven't left my house in the last year and a half,
Yeah.
almost 2 years, without a sidearm of some sort. And you just don't want to go out in the back anymore.
Right.
Like I said,
Unless I had a
bring
number
my
of people.
trash down to the road during the day. I don't do it at night.
I've heard a lot of that.
I was doing it up until I got the fingerprints on the window. I won't
Yeah.
do it no more now. It's gonna be during the day.
There's so many unexplainable things going on here that I just
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really even want to talk about it. Like I said,
But for the most part, and I don't mean to cut you off, from what you've seen 40 plus times or right around there,
yeah,
it's a tall, dark, hairy, upright walking creature by Peely.
100%.
And from what you've casted,
I have a 22-inch
shape of a foot.
toe to heel,
Yep.
and at the toes 11 inches wide. And you know, we tried to sink our foot into the mud that it was walking on, and it left. It was actually 3 3/4 inch deep divot where it was walking.
And that's where the heel took.
Yeah,
place. That's
and
it.
we tried to stomp down, and I mean, we couldn't get hardly an inch.
And it probably, if you had 3 of you grown men on each other's shoulders and jumping up and down, you might have, but
Yeah,
Right.
maybe.
maybe.
Probably not.
But this,
Right.
this also was the morning after it had chased me back from my far property line.
Okay.
When I went out to the corner of my property line, this is when all that stuff went down. and you heard it coming running at me.
Oh.
I know exactly where it was. I know exactly where I saw it go, and it was coming directly at me.
Yeah.
I heard every footstep getting faster, faster, faster. I tried swooping it. I tried yelling at it. I held my gun up. I'm like, get out of here. And it got faster, faster. It's just like,
Time to go.
and the next morning we went back there. I didn't even think about going back there until I spoke with Joe.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to run back there and kind of start looking around.
Mm-hmm.
I got back there, and it was early in the morning, and I'm like, wow, I found this over here. Well, his sons came back and said,
Dan,
we find all this stuff on the back corner of your property. And I'm like, what? So, of course, I went back, and that's when we found, I think we found a total of like 18 prints.
But only so many were good casts.
Correct, yeah.
And that's when we seen the little print and the big print.
Yeah, we saw.
So you've seen
saw
that
the
too,
little-
right? You
Yep.
you verified that was real.
I have
in the big
pictures of it.
footprint. There was a footprint in the footprint.
And if you guys who are just watching this one have not seen the video of last year with Joel and I, that print is on video, so go ahead and check that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you could, that'd be great. Whatever you want to send me, that would be greatly appreciated. If you even can put them on your laptop or computer
Yeah.
and put them on a disc, that'd be awesome as well. Back to why I'm out here today is because of some fingerprints. Joel, how did all of this come about?
Tammy spotted them 2 nights ago, or 2 days ago in the morning. She spotted them, and she didn't quite know what to make of them. And that evening, it was probably about just getting dark. I'm looking at the door and I'm going, the heck are those? And I'm looking, and I walk up to them and I'm looking at them, I'm going, and there are some big, fat fingerprints on my door, right there on the window. So of course we investigate a little more and I'm looking closer and closer. Now I can see the dermal ridges, you know, you can see the actual lines in the fingerprints. And then Abe says if they're straight across, it's more likely to be a Bigfoot than anything else, because ours are kind of swirly and kind of wavy.
That's on the foot. That's on the foot. On the heel. That is. If they're a little more
Well,
horizontal.
these are straight when you look at them.
Yeah.
They're kind of like
Well, we
this.
know that's not a footprint. they're not walking on the glass there. But yeah, I mean ours. You can see different loops and swirls and pools in ours here, and so these ones are interesting. I'm going to pick the camera up right now. If somebody wants to grab a tape measure.
You got a good one, yeah?
I don't.
Mine's pretty rusty. Let me see if I got a better one.
Let's see here. May not be
Yeah, we'll see the
able to
length of them.
see them.
I measured the big one, it's about 2 inches. Like that. It's about that big. It's stupid big.
So they're on the outside,
Yeah.
and you can it's not picking. Oh, kinda. But the detail is just not there right now.
Yeah.
But it looks like we got a couple of disturbances. One right here.
Right, you want to measure that? Is that at the top? Can you tell? I can't tell. Right there?
So that one is about two. Looks like about a 2-inch mark.
It's kind of what I measured them at.
Yeah. About an inch and a half. Wait, there you go. About 2-inch on that one.
This is the biggest one, I think. The third one over. I can't see it. Can you see it?
That one's about 2 inches as well. And then we have another disturbance right over here, but these ones here are pretty much the main ones.
Yeah. And they're about 4 inches apart from inside to inside when you measure them. 3.5, 4 inches.
Right there to here. And Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put some black powder. I got my kit. Oh, go ahead.
Just open whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. So, got some backing cards. I'm glad I went to the Home Depot. This handprint is in Dr. Meldrum's book, Sasquatch Legend Meets Science. That's who I actually got the print from.
That's insane.
And I think because of the width of what we're dealing with, I'm going to actually use this to place the prints on. But it might not matter because I might need to, because if this was a whole handprint, I would dust the whole handprint and put the whole handprint if it fitted on something like this. But see, I'm just going to probably be lifting each of these individually. I might have to just go ahead and use the index cards here to do so, seeing that the space given would line up right here. And date and document it that way. So, we'll be right back. So basically, I made a video recording years ago, not recording, but lifting prints years ago. And I'm putting this protective stuff on, because when I'm doing this, when I'm dusting her, I don't want to accidentally get my prints on the outside. So it's protection from doing that. And also a mask when you're using graphite black dust to do this. This stuff has a tendency to get all over the place. And so I'm just going to step outside here and dust the outside. I'm going to close the door. And if you could just be on the opposite side here.
Yeah, we just don't have to close it all the way. We can hear you.
Yeah, that dust gets all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they say about an inch of that stuff will cover a room.
Right.
It's really terrible stuff. You see it?
Sorry, everybody, but you really can't see
Yeah.
the
You're hard to
prints
see
through
them.
camera, but in person you see them clear as day.
Starting to come around now.
Yeah, it is.
Put the tape on them once now so maybe you can tell how long they are. No, that ain't working. Try it more like this.
Oh, hang on. I can actually see them really well through here.
It's the top of it right there. That one's about, yeah, when you get down to the bottom there, it's 2 inches. Just to give you a rough idea.
Okay.
They really are 2 inches. They're big.
Did that bring out a lot of detail?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
from the
a lot.
inside you can see if you look at the sky,
Oh, yeah.
drop down a little bit.
Oh, sure. Yep, absolutely.
So what's going to be the next step here?
The next step is going to lift them.
Are you going to do the individual cards?
I am going to, yeah, do the individual cards. So right now, we got that camera rolling.
Yeah.
And this is why I brought Dr. Meldrum's.
Yeah, maybe we'll just throw them away for it.
There we go.
Yeah, this would be a nice comparison.
This is a right hand that was found. And I'll hold it right under here
Yeah.
so you can kind of see what could be. But then again, what also could be, could not be. We always gotta be optimistic.
That's
Yeah.
not a full handle, right?
I don't know what it is yet.
No,
No, this right
fingers.
here. No, Dr. Meldrum said that the
Part of
digits
them
should
are-
be about 33% longer.
Yep.
So it's interesting because of the spacing that's in between them.
Yeah.
It kind of correlates
really
with
on.
what's going on right up there.
And almost the thumbprint, if you were at like a little bit of a different angle, possibly on the thumb, but the other digits are really lined up well.
Yeah.
Okay, new gloves. Somebody want to open the door?
Might be my son, Mike.
You scared him. Yep, there you go. We're going to lift it. This is lifting tape. I'll be right out here.
Take two.
Take two. Woo-hoo. Tell him to go down a little deeper.
He sees it.
Okay. Nice.
Yep.
Just gotta put it on a card. Oof.
Got it.
Perfect.
And the best thing I can do for you guys is when I get home, I'll put these through my scanner. And that way you guys can each have your own documented prints.
Nice. There's a lot of hole in the middle. It don't look quite like it.
It just didn't take the whole print when it jerked the.
Yeah.
It's because of the
Didn't
cold.
lift right.
It's because of the cold out there. I'm gonna pause for a second.
Should we try to get back to your tape, Gabe?
I don't know if that's going to make any difference, but it's...
It's coming off pretty nice now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was
Try
probably
the middle one
cool.
with yours?
Yeah.
Because that other tape's not exactly,
Designed for that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
let's keep grabbing, I'll cut it off. Start clean. Oh, I touched it. A little bit. Anything?
Yep.
Cut it again?
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of know I...
There you go.
I'll just get you right up here. Good thing we caught that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hard to get. Tom, did you see this handprint he brought over?
That's crazy.
It just doesn't have the full digits out on the end.
It's missing
His finger's probably
33%,
come out
Joe.
about here.
It's missing
Isn't that
33%.
crazy? Huh?
33% it's missing.
33% is missing?
Yes, of the finger.
Ah, they're not coming out too good. Huh?
No, of that print over there.
Oh yeah, right, the fingerprints. The actual
The
length.
hand.
Yeah, the actual
Yeah.
length of the fingers. It's almost surgical.
That one worked out really good. That one worked out really well.
Good.
I think that one's better.
That one looks better. There's Snoopy. Oh, there's a
Yeah, it turned out really nice. I'm gonna pause for a sec. Okay.
That's all of 2 inches. You see these knuckle prints, Tom? We just put his knuckles in the dirt.
Another good one.
Guys, so here is the first print that was pulled. Just thought I'd share that with you guys here. That was not a good pull on that print, but you can see where there was air between the tape and the print. However, that's print number 1. Print number 2. I think the third print came out the best, to be honest with you. So it's interesting. I'm not at the stage. I'm not a professional, but it is some type of print. You can definitely see the dermal ridges. It appears that the dermal ridges are definitely thicker than human. I will say that.
And they're all kind of running left to right, aren't they?
Yeah, they do look more horizontal.
Mm-hmm. Not much swirling going on.
Not a whole lot.
All right.
So, Joe, after I got off the phone with you, I sent Jimmy Chilcutt an email, and he is a primate fingerprint expert, retired, and hopefully I'll be hearing back from him. I also called him earlier too from the last number I had, but I'll give him another ring here. And so I just wanted to share this with our viewers here, you guys, and we'll keep you guys in the loop on this. We were upstairs, we were just talking about some of the prints that were lifted, and here are a couple of them that you guys casted yourself. And these are for this is basically for our newer viewers, because we do have a lot more newer viewers since last time we were here last September.
Well, these were on the first video we made.
Yes, yep.
So all you guys that haven't seen the first one, it's called Joe on Private Property, Minnesota Bigfoot.
Yep, you got to look up Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team. You got to spell that out actually on YouTube, because we do have an older account that just goes by MN.B.R.T, but the newer account is actually Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team, all spelled out, to get to our channel, our newer channel. And so then here we are.
So it still comes up, Joe.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
On private property.
Joe on private
Minnesota
property.
Bigfoot. Yeah. And that's really worth watching, because that's got a lot of good stuff in it.
Absolutely.
And this is included in that first one, but we're doing this for the second viewers.
Okay.
So this is the one we found out in the backyard. And we did a measurement on it, and it's right around 17 and a half inches. That's the heel. You can see how wide it is. And you can see how deep it is. It's a good 3 inches deep.
How heavy is this? Anybody,
That's 40 pounds.
40 easily, yeah.
Yeah, it's big. But the odd thing about this footprint was, when Dan first found it, before he cast it, he said, "Dad, come out and look. There's a footprint in the footprint." And I went, "Yeah, right, Dan." He said, "Come and see it, Dad. You got to see it." And right across here is the little footprint. It was 8 inches long, probably about 4 inches wide. And when you look down into the squash part, you could literally see the little footprint, in the big footprint.
So people, I just want to remind everybody that this is of a left foot. This is not the right foot. This is of a left foot, because this was taken from the ground, and now that's on its backside. It's turned upside down, so now what you're seeing is a left foot. Am I wrong?
Well, it's
it appears
the standard
to be.
cast. That was the hole, and we filled the hole.
Yep.
Is what we did. It just so
So this was the part that was in the earth.
Yep.
And then now that it's on its backside.
Right.
It would be upside down.
Yep.
Okay.
But this is, you can see how wide his toes are.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stretch to that big toe, but it's about 10 inches from here to here. I've measured it. It's 10 inches. About 17 long.
Which is amazing, because John was just saying that from eye socket to eye socket is right around the 10-inch mark as well. And then we got the whole width of the toes being that width as well. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any correlation with that. I mean, have anybody ever tried to put like their footprint within, I wonder if the width of the foot, the ball of the foot, is actually the same width from your eye sockets.
I don't know
Just
nothing
food for
about that,
thought. Just food for
but
thought.
all I know is I remember looking into the ground and looking at that footprint, and I remember I said, good Lord, there's monsters in my backyard. Because you can't fake that.
No.
It was too good to fake. And the little footprint was in that big footprint.
Right.
And I literally put my fingers and my thumb right in that little guy's toes and his big toe and his little toes. I put my hand right, and it was like, that's the real deal.
And so here is another one.
We call this the stride cast. Because he went through a lower part of the yard where it was just kind of grassy, muddy stuff, so we didn't get, like, that was in the mud.
Yes.
This was more or less in the grass, and we got just what we call a stride cast, and it was 6 feet from heel to his, or from his toe to his heel.
Toe to heel.
The stride was 6 feet.
Oh, dang.
6 feet. Try striding that.
No.
And there was like there was 5, 6 of them in a row in this low spot, and this was the best one, so we casted this one. But there was like 5, 6 of them until he got up on higher ground and it got harder again. So we call that the stride cast.
And there you guys have it. Joel, thank you again.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we are on John's property, and we're going to do a couple things, see where some things happened here. And what's very interesting is the window he was looking out when he was making a late dinner, and just on the other side was that Bigfoot, or what we'll call Bigfoot. So we're at John's place right now.